Hello and welcome to TotoTCG. You are here with me, Matthew, and we are back here with another Pokemon video. So of course we do have another new GX from a different set from Japan, which was probably released about a month ago actually, maybe a month and a half ago. It was called Charisma of the Cracked Sky. Very interesting. Pretty big title, SM7 I believe it is. So yeah, we're into SM7. I think for us in particular, I think this is SM7 for us, at least when Celestial Storm comes out. Now this is the second set. We had Champions Road, which we've gone through the GXs, so if you haven't already seen them, definitely go check them out. Now we're going to check out the Charisma of the Cracked Sky. It could be Wrecked Sky or Cracked, one of the two. But we're going to be checking out one of the GXs in this video. So let's crack on and let's get on with it. So the GX in question today is, yes, it is Shiftry GX. Shiftry. I don't think Shiftry was ever an EX, so it's pretty cool to see him as a GX. And the background looks absolutely amazing with that forest. You can see the tree just on the left there, and almost like a leaf blizzard going around him, some wind as well. Very, very cool looking. So of course we're going to be talking about Shiftry GX. Shiftry is a grass Pokemon with a HP of 240. So that's pretty cool. It is a stage 2 Pokemon, so you do have to evolve it up, but there are a few things which can help in evolving this guy up, which is always very, very cool. Which we'll get to actually after we've had a little look at the moves. And you'll notice here that he hasn't got an ability. A lot of the Pokemon that we've checked out so far have had abilities. This one does not, but he does have some pretty cool moves indeed. So let's have a little look at what they are. Right after we take a look at the full art and rainbow rares. So these are pretty cool, I have to say. The full art looks incredible. I love how massive Shiftry is, taking up that whole page there. The whole page, the whole card. It looks absolutely incredible, really, really does. And I love how his eye is yellow. It sort of just distinguishes the difference between all the different colours and everything, and just adds another shade of colouring into Shiftry itself. And of course, the rainbow rare as well is right there, the exact same one, but nice blue eyes this time with the rainbow rare. So it looks really, really cool indeed. Very, very nice. So moving on, let's take a look at that first attack, which is actually called Perplex for just one grass. So what does it do? Well, it does 40 damage and your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. So that's pretty cool. Now I believe one of the Eevee evolutions, I believe it's Espeon, does 30 and you get confused. So it does 30. It is a stage 1 instead of a stage 2. But it's the same sort of move in a way, just for a grass type. Just for 1 energy as well is not bad to do 40 damage. If you're going against something like a GX or EX and you place a choice band, that's 70 for just 1 energy. That's not bad. That is definitely not bad. And the fact that you're confusing can be very annoying. Can be very annoying indeed. So let's have a look at that second attack, which is called Extra Sensory, which is for 1 grass and a double colorless. So only another, it's basically just a 2 attachment Pokemon, which is always really, really cool. So you can run DC in this, the 1 grass energy. You could even run rainbow energy if you wanted to, just to make it a little bit different. It's entirely up to you. But what does Extra Sensory do? Well, it does 90 plus damage. So this attack does 90 more damage if you and your opponent have the same number of cards in your hands. So that can be pretty interesting, very situation based, but there are a few cards, or at least one that I can think of, which is going to stay in format, which can help with this. It can at least help get you the same amount of cards. Whether you play any or not is another thing. We'll have a little look at that in a sec though. Then moving on from that, bearing in mind that does do 90 plus 90, so that's 180 plus a choice band 210, so that's pretty cool indeed. But anyway, let's move on to this GX. We got Fandemonium GX. I don't know whether it's because his hands look a bit like fans, I'm not too sure. But that's what it's called, or that's what it's been translated as for the moment. Whether it stays or not, I don't know. The attack itself is shuffle one of your opponent's Pokemon and all cards attached to it into their deck. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. They might be trying to start up something on a bench, and you can just be like, put that back in your deck, mate. Just, no, it's not happening. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. I just love the fact that we got a Shiftry GX coming out in the next set. It looks absolutely amazing. It took me so much by surprise. I sort of like looked at it, I was like, really? Shiftry? But it looks awesome. Whether it's playable or not, I don't know. I really don't know. It's situational based, but having that similar move to Espeon is pretty cool. Having the chance to do 180 plus a choice band 210 for just 2 energy attachments is pretty cool. And the fact that you can shuffle your opponent's cards back into the deck is pretty cool as well. So I really do like this this card a lot. I think it has got some potential. That's just me personally. In terms of competitiveness, I don't know how it's going to fare. Now, bearing in mind, it is weak to fire. So there is that. Speaking of weakness, let's just go through all of that as well. We of course know that it is a GX, so if it does get knocked out, it will be taking 2 prize cards. It has the weakness to fire, no resistance, and a retreat of 2. So I mean, that's not bad. You can either, you could attach two leaf to it and then utilise them, or just take the double colourless off. Bang, sorted. You can retreat it. So that's not bad. Definitely not bad. So, let's have a little look at what works with this card. So, first one up I thought of was Zoroark GX. Now, I'm thinking of Zoroark GX because we had a Zoroark GX and Decidueye deck, and the whole point of that was to keep Zoroark at the front, as much as you've got maybe about 3 or 4 in your deck, have Decidueye on the bench, and then every turn you can do the 20-20-20 with all the Decidueyes you've got on the bench, bearing in mind it's Decidueye GX I'm on about. And that was pretty cool because obviously you could trade, you could find your rare candies, your evolution things to get your Decidueyes going. Zoroark wasn't super duper hard to sort of evolve. I say that, sort of. But once it is up and running and you just throw 1 DCE on it, it's easy. And the fact that this deck, if you were to make it, would possibly run DCE is just even better. So you can place it on Zoroark GX, and even if you don't have your Shiftry GX ready, this is a good way of, trading to get rid of cards in your hand that you don't want, which can also help with the other move. And the fact that it's got a pretty decent attack, which can do 150 with the choice band, and it can do some pretty destructive damage to some fan favourites. It's a really good card. So yeah, definitely one to have a think of. I've thrown in there Pheromosa GX just for those, it's sort of either like a good start or you want a good end. That's the first and the GX move. The first move, being able to do 30 on your first turn, possibly with a choice band 60. Say someone's brought up not a Zoroark, maybe a Zorua or a Rockruff. Most of them have 60. I think there's a Rockruff now which has 70, but 60 is pretty cool. You could knock that out. Pretty cool. You just stop them, and it's very nice. So that could be one, maybe just a one-off, just a one-off, just a little bit of fun, just to be like, well, I fancy getting Pheromosa out. Bang. So yeah, that could be pretty cool. I've also put in Leafeon GX. Now this is obvious, I think. The GX move itself, it just allows all bench Pokemon to evolve. Plain and simple. You go through your deck, you find the evolution items to evolve them up. Obviously, in terms of Shiftry, you've got to evolve it from C-Dot up to Nuzleaf, up to C-Dot itself. So you can get your C-Dots to Nuzleafs, and then obviously you can crack on from there and try and get the Shiftrys going. So there is that. Now, whether you could maybe do Leafeon, Zoroark, and Shiftry, I don't know. I really don't know. I know some people have maybe run like 1 Leafeon and 1 Eevee. So you get the Eevee, you get your energy, bang, you can then look for it. Of course, running at just a 1-1 line, I'm not saying you're pretty much guaranteed, but there is a big risk that one of the two is going to be prized. It could happen. It has happened. So, let's have a look at some other bits and bobs. We've also got Gardenia. Just don't play it. I'm only thinking of a supporter for grass. It heals. Don't play it. Please do not play it. I'm only putting it there just to be like, yes, there you go, good card. Not. So we won't talk about that. We will talk about Aether Paradise Conservation Area. Now, bearing in mind that this is just for basics, so again, C dot, if you wanted it to sort of live on a bit longer, you play this, bang, happy days. You've got a little bit more of room for C dot. Not for Shiftry, just for C dot. And seeing as there's no way of sort of looking for... I say this, there's no way of looking for grass Pokemon, and there's no stadium that's actually... what's the word? It's not being made for a grass Pokemon. There obviously was Forest of the Giant Plants, which got banned. So, yeah, that was fun. That was definitely very, very fun. Now, here's one of the last card. Now, the last card I think is pretty good for that second attack, and it's Judge. And I think this is going to play a lot in formats. Now, bearing in mind, you could judge, you could get judged, you can then judge, but bearing in mind you are both drawing 4 cards. Now, the only problem is, and it is a problem, is you play Judge, you get 4 cards, and you think, oh, I got a choice band, I could play this. You play the choice band, you're down to 3 there on 4. How are you supposed to get back on that? Now, what you could do at that point, if you did want to play it, this is why I thought Zoroark would be a good idea. You play Zoroark, you trade away something else, putting you down to 2 in hand, you then draw 2. You're back to 4. So there is that sort of security of playing Judge, Zoroark, Shiftry, so you can get that sort of big damage going, and especially for just 2 energy attachments, it's insane. I really do like it. I think it could be worth a good shout. Hopefully, and I say this, hopefully it doesn't go like massively popular straight away. So normally when sets come out, normally people have got their sort of favourites, and they're like, yes, we need this one, and the prices go woo, straight up. Of course, they do come down a little bit, and I say a little bit, which is always nice, but yeah, hopefully Shiftry doesn't see a lot of popularity. I'm personally saying that because I really want to have a little experiment with it. I think it might work, it might be pretty fun. And the fact that right now I'm trying to focus on decks which don't incorporate everything from evolutions backwards, this is why I wanted to sort of bring that up. You play Judge, number 1, it's helping to shuffle your hand, your opponent's hand. They might have had a good hand, number 1, or number 2, they could have had a really good, no, a really bad hand, and you're giving them a good hand. So there is that, but bearing in mind, you do the Judge, you actually get the attack off of 210, bearing in mind you need grass, double colourless, you need the hands to be the exact same, which Judge can help with, a choice band as well, that's 210. That's pretty much knocking a lot of stuff out, if we're talking like Buzzwole, Lapras, Zoroark. So yeah, that's looking pretty cool indeed. I am definitely liking that. The only negative I can think of is the fact that it is a stage 2, which means that you are going to have to focus a lot on trying to find the stuff. However, getting a lot of Zoroarks out can help you just literally get rid of the trash and get through your deck and find the stuff you want, which is always really, really cool. But anyway, moving on from that, let's have a little look at Guess the GX's answer from our previous one. I gave you that picture right there. It was, in fact, a Alolan Executor GX. I think that was pretty cool. I don't know whether people managed to spot what it was, but yeah, I think it was pretty cool. So, Guess the GX for this one is going to be that little picture right there. Then that's a bit bigger, and that's a little bit bigger right there. Yeah, good luck with that. If anyone can get that, good luck to you. But with that, I'm going to leave it here for Shiftry. I think it's an absolutely insane looking Pokemon. It's going to be really, really cool. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully people don't really see it and are like, yeah, it's a bit of rubbish. And then I can be like, yes, I'm just going to take all the full arts. Thank you. Bye-bye. So hopefully that can happen. And I really want to try and focus now on building decks that just have the stuff that is in format, or it will be in format, because when this set comes out, I think it's another month, and then everything just goes from evolutions backwards. So yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting. Very, very hard times, but I think there's a lot of cards, especially coming out in this set and in previous sets. Judge is going to probably be a bit of a staple for some people. There's another card. I won't mention any names because I want to do a separate video on going over all the supporters which are coming out in these two sets, which will be coming out in our Celestial Storm set. So definitely stick around for that. But apart from that, I will leave it here. If you guys have enjoyed them, make sure to hit that subscribe button below for more news updates on these GXs. If there are any more new GXs from upcoming sets, not Celestial Storm, then I'll let you know straight away. But apart from that, I'm going to leave it here, and I will see you guys in the next video on the channel.